just what's offset against my surroundings? Can I protect the territory of my convictions? Will fears force tumble my borders? Are we all pieces of our past? Do your
Hi, we're in the garden, the mind garden today, and we're going to explore the park and how different parts of the park can represent our identities, our self-concept, our sense of self, and how knowing ourselves can help us to protect our psychological boundaries and protect us from having someone come in and try and control us by trying to reinvent us or recreate us in the image of what they expect and they want to project onto us. So let's get on with it.
Would I still be me in a vacuum?
This is like the park ranger's little place that he would or she would wait. And this could represent how you patrol your boundaries, your psychological boundaries.
Still be me in a vacuum? Am I just what's offset against my surroundings? Can I protect the territory of my convictions? Will fears force tumble my borders?
So we're in the beautiful wooded area of the park and here the trees represent for me our adult self because they have grown and they have seen a lot of life and they have accumulated experience and they know things, and that's really what the adult self is. It has a stronger awareness, it's grounded in reality, in responsibility, those sorts of things. But the adult self also has often some traumas, some wounds to heal, some shadows to heal. And these trees can represent that too, because we know that with trees sometimes they have various, either they can have had diseases or their trunks can have been damaged in some way. So, they carry the marks of time and both the beautiful elements of living and being alive and also the parts that are difficult and painful, always trying to grow towards the light. So this is obviously a kids' playground area in the park. And this represents our child self, and it represents our creativity, our ability to take healthy risks and to be spontaneous and playful and joyful, and also use it to consider how our childhood has affected us and to think about the child within from the perspective of when we're hurting, is there a part of us that hasn't been able to heal from childhood? Is there something some work we can do with our inner child to help us heal from those past traumas, to fully come into our adult self, and to also be able to be an adult in those moments when we need to be, rather than reverting to immature behaviour. But the child within doesn't represent being immature in of itself. Okay, now we're at a picnic area. It represents the space that you have for a social life and the quality of your relationships. Now, when you meet someone new, or when you're thinking about the people in your life who mean something to you, or that you think you feel close to, it's important to think about, do those people actually help you maintain the quality of your relationships, or is there someone among them, or someone that you're getting very close to, who's actually causing you to isolate yourself from family and friends in a way that could make you more vulnerable?
Would I still be me in a vacuum? Am I just what's offset against my surroundings? Can I protect the territory of my convictions? Will fears force tumble my borders? Are we all pieces of our past? Do your words simply have oppositional effect on me? And I know it's a little dramatic to ask myself, but
The beautiful thing about this park is they tend to plant new things all the year round, all seasons. So if you have a look here, we've got some beautiful, beautiful flowers that are blooming. So beautiful. And for me, this represents part of ourselves which is growing, a part of us which wants to grow and develop and study, and we have all sorts of ideas, projects, personal goals, developmental goals, various things where it's us in the process of growth and construction. It kind of represents in part who we are, the part of us that's in process, in progress, and our future selves as well, who we want to become. We can also fill in little developmental gaps, things we don't know how to do, life skills. Say if you don't know how to cook yummy veggies, you don't know how to feed yourself properly, or if you're not sure how to have a conversation with someone, so you feel awkward in social situations, simple matter of learning how to ask people questions in a way that makes them feel important. It could be getting your driver's license. It could be specific table etiquette that helps you feel more confident when going to a classy restaurant and taking your partner on a nice date. So these are all little things that you can always learn how to do through watching some YouTube videos or asking some friends. And that way we can get out of that feeling of being a bit inadequate, and it can help us also deal with someone who's trying to put us down or uproot our flower garden and tell us what we should be doing instead, or trying to hold us back from learning new things. That's never a good thing if you feel as though someone is trying to discourage you from growing. We must always feel we've got the right to grow and to plant whatever flowers we want in our flower bed. So, psychological boundaries we can imagine to be a bit like a fence around your mind garden, and people either come through the front gate and front door because they've been invited in to get to know you. You've invited them in, and that process unfolds naturally, and you're interested in one another and you feel seen by that person. And then you get people who just want to jump over the back fence and litter your garden or uproot your flower beds and plant them with something else. That type of person will approach you in a way that feels a bit off, but you might feel coerced into or rushed into that connection. But the point is that a healthy relationship is about loving the person for who they are. I don't mean tolerating bad behaviour. Another way to think about it is you might need to identify where someone's jumped over the fence and left litter and has been trespassing on the sovereignty of your mind, and has left you with a lot of self-doubt, and it's felt like criticism, but it's not like a loving, caring person in your life giving you constructive feedback that's a bit uncomfortable. Maybe they've left litter, or they've messed up your garden. You've got to go back and repair that, and you've got to throw that trash out and that litter out, and be very careful about not letting that person come in over your back fence again. we're coming to an area where I meditate quite regularly, and I enjoy just relaxing my mind in nature. There's a bit of traffic noise here, but there's a couple of lovely little stumps, little tree stumps. So here I'm in my little meditation spot, and this represents our right to take the time and the space to reflect on who we are, on our dreams, to take time for our spirituality or our consciousness, or depending on what you believe. If you believe our consciousness survives outside of the body, beyond the body, it represents that part of us which is wise and knows more than maybe what we know in our conscious life right now. It's taking that quiet time and that space, not to ruminate and to worry, but to just enjoy planning and working on ourselves, on creating the dreams, and maybe doing the shadow work or doing the work that we need to do to heal. But it's giving us and according us that space to do so. That's what the meditation spot represents. I'm sitting on a little stump here, an old tree stump that I come to regularly to do that kind of work.
Would I still be me in a vacuum? Am I just what's offset against my surroundings? Can I protect the territory of my convictions? Will fears force tumble my borders? Are we all pieces of our past? Do your words...
So this tree is actually really big. You can't really see how big it is. If I stood up against that trunk, I would look very small. It's not like a redwood or a sequoia that we would see in America. We're not talking about that, but it's a really big tree, absolutely magnificent. And that's why I've chosen it, because it really is like the mother of all of the beautiful trees here in the park. So I'm in front of the tree of wisdom, or our wise self, the part of us that is wise, and if you believe is our soul or connected to our higher self. And the idea is just to be aware of that part of us, because we can find it during meditation. In the other parts I've talked about wisdom, I've talked about wise parts of ourselves, and there's wisdom in each part of ourselves and in accessing it. But this is the part of us that perhaps we can consider as eternal or sacred, the higher self, that quiet part of us that we can take refuge in during meditation and find the deepest wisdom.
Would I still be me in a vacuum? Am I just what's offset against my surroundings? Can I protect the territory of my convictions? Will fears force tumble my borders? Are we all pieces of our past? Do your words simply have oppositional effect on me? And I know it's a little dramatic to ask myself, but would I die to protect you? What's keeping me from being you? What's keeping me from being you? There's a great dotted line between us, it's called life experience. Is that what's keeping me from being you? Is that what's keeping me from being you? Between us, is the sum of it enough for me to trust you? Is that repulsion I feel compelled by natural justice to divide me from the cruel people? She'd write what's keeping me from being you? Is that what's keeping me from being you? Oh, we're all the salt of the earth. That's why our tears taste the same. Soul is contained by some sacred membrane. Where do you end and I begin? Where do you end and I begin? Oh, and it's so glamorous to be complicated. It's so glamorous to be the tortured one. But it's not so glamorous when you're living in it. Nothing's quite enough to make you whole. Nothing's quite enough to make you whole. Nothing's quite enough. Nothing's quite enough. Nothing's quite enough to make you whole. Ooh, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, hey, ooh, oh, and I'm worried there's a simple answer I'm missing. That I'll look in the mirror one day and see a fool with an over-decorated history and a mouth of vacuous words. Life laughing at me for following the rules. Is that what's keeping me from being you? What's keeping me from being you? Maybe there's a light inside where glory is revived, and the hope I was given you were denied.